So now that we have covered all of the functionalities of our voice AI agents, I want to show you another feature that we have inside of Dapta, which is called campaigns. And this is a very powerful feature that allows you to run campaigns on a specific agent for a lead of prospects. This can be like a cold calling agent or just an outbound agent. Let's say you have a list of prospects with information such as their name, their email, any other details like address or even debt. Let's say you have a debt collection agent and you want to have a reminding agent that calls all of these prospects over a period of time until they respond. Then this is when you want to use campaigns. So the first thing you want to do is go over to the left side, click on campaigns, then create a campaign. You're going to give your campaign a name. In this case, I'm just going to say demo and then debt collection. And then you're going to be able to choose the agent from the drop-down list. You should already have your agent created for it to appear here. In this case, I'm just going to click a random one. I'm going to click save and continue. And the next step is going to be uploading a file of contact. So right here, I have uploaded a CSV file or an Excel file with a list of prospects. And if you want to see what that spreadsheet looks like, it's basically just this. This is some information that I come up with using ChatGPT, and I have information such as client, phone, email, date, time, and their debt. So in this case, I'm going to pretend that I'm calling this person and greeting them by their name and telling them you owe this amount. So once I click on continue, we're going to land on this property mapping step in which we're going to basically map the values that we have inside our spreadsheet with the corresponding variable name inside of Dapta. So we're going to see the properties in Dapta such as phone number. We can just click that's called phone inside of spreadsheet. If I go back into my spreadsheet, the column is called phone, and in this case in Spanish, but it's just name of the contact. This is going to be client. If I go back into my spreadsheet, client contains the name of the prospect, and I can add more properties. So for example, I can create the debt property, and we can select that it's a type of text, add property, and I can map it with my debt column inside of my spreadsheet. And so if you have an input variable that's called debt inside of your agent's prompt, you want to make sure that the name of the variable matches whatever's in your prompt so that it can actually inject that value every time it makes a call to a specific contact. Once you've set up your variables, you can hit on save and continue, and you're going to land on this window in which you're going to be able to set up how you want your campaign to behave. This means that you can select between a range of dates for when you want this campaign to be active. Let's say from today, which is February 19th, all the way until next Friday, which would be February 27th. And I can configure the calling days. Let's say I want this to call every single day, or only labor days. I can do like weekdays or custom. Custom I would choose from here in the in my calendar, in my week, which days I want the agent to do these calls. Then we're going to be able to configure the max attempts per contact. This means how many times the contact is going to be called until they go out of this workflow automation. Note that if the user responds, let's say at the third call or at the third attempt, then they're gonna be out of the workflow. They're not gonna be called afterwards because they have already picked up. We could also choose the attempts per day. How many times do we want each contact to be called per day? You can choose up to 5 times on the same day. Then you're going to be able to select your time zone for when you define your schedule. Example here, I'm in Arizona, Phoenix, so I choose that, but then you can pick from the drop down any location and your call schedule. For example, I can do 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. I would just put it here on this clock and then hit on PM. You can also select the minutes if you want to be more specific and hit OK. And you can also add different time slots. For example, I just want to call them during the morning and not during lunch. And then in the afternoon, I would select like 1 p.m. to, let's say, 5 p.m. Hit OK. And once I hit finish, then my campaign is going to be activated. You're going to see this, that it says running up here. And with this, you're all set. All of the calls are going to start being executed by that agent to those prospects in that list. But you also have You can also edit anytime here inside the settings. You're going to be able to see the call logs of the people who have responded. You're going to be seeing information inside the contact list, such as how many attempts have happened per each contact. These are all the contacts that I have inside of the spreadsheet. So that is very cool, so that you keep track of who has been called, how many attempts they have been called, if it was successful or not. And then some metrics here, for example, how many credits have been used in this specific campaign, the total calls that have been made, total contacts that have been called, connection rate, and the average call duration. So that's how you can set up a campaign, which is an automation that's going to be calling all of your prospects on Autopilot.